Hello friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. This is Vinay Lakchakar having 9-year experience in IT. My today video is related access specifier in Swift. So before proceeding to the video, if you did not subscribe my channel till now, then subscribe and press the bell icon. So moving on the video, access specifier in Swift. So in this video, the topic we will cover on this video are what is access specifier or access control, type of specifiers, what is the difference between public and open? What is the default access label in Swift? So, what is access specifier or access control? Access control restricts access to parts of your code from code in other source files and modules. This feature enables you to hide the implementation details of your code and to specify a preferred interface through which that code can be accessed and used. You can assign specific access labels to individual types, classes, structures, and enumerations, as well as to properties, methods, initializers, and subscripts belonging to those types. Protocols can be restricted to a certain context as in global constants, variable, and function. So in Swift, we have open, public, internal, file private, and private for access control. Open access is the highest least restrictive access level, and private access is the lowest most restrictive access level. Almost all entities in your code have a default access level of internal. If you do not specify an explicit access label yourself, as a result, in case you do not need to specify an explicit access label in your code. Number one, open and public, least restrictive. Enable an entity to be used outside the defining module target. You typically use open or public access when specifying the public interface to a framework. Let's consider an example. Everybody, iOS developers, knows about UIKit. We often use many UI elements from UIKit daily. When you try to use the UI components such as UI button, UI collection view, UI table view, UI view controller, etc. You have to import the UI kit on the top. So UI kit is actually a module that we can import to our class and subclass its features. Number two, public. Like open access label, public access label enables an entity to be used outside the defining module target. But open access label allows us to subclass it from another module, where it public access label we can only subclass or override it from within the module it is defined. So by keeping it simple, open access applies only to classes and class members, and it is differs from public access as follows. Public classes and class members can only be subclassed and overridden within the defining module target. Open classes and class members can be subclassed and overridden both within and outside the defining module target. Open access applies only to classes and class members, and it differs from public access as follows. Classes with public access or any more restrictive access label can be subclassed only within the module where they are defined. Class members with public access or any more restrictive access label can be overridden by subclasses only within the module where they are defined. Open classes can be subclassed within the module where they are defined and within any module that imports the module where they are defined. Open class members can be overridden by subclasses within the module where they are defined and within any module that imports the module where they are defined. Number three, internal. This is default access label. Internal is a default access label. Internal classes and members can be accessed anywhere within the same module target they are defined. You typically use internal access when defining an app's or a framework's internal structure. Number four, file private restricts the use of an entity to its defining source file. You typically use file private access to hide the implementation details of a specific piece of functionality where those details are used within an entire file. That is, the functionality defined with a file private access label can only be accessed from within the Swift file where it is defined. Number 5, private, most restrictive. Private access restricts the user of an entity to the enclosing declaration and to extension of that declaration that are in the same file. You typically use private access to hide the implementation details of a specific piece of functionality where when those details are used only within a single declaration. Important. Before Swift 4, private access label didn't allow the use of a class member inside the extension of same class. What is the difference between public and open? So entities that are declared public or open are accessible from the module in which they are defined and from any module that imports the module they are defined in. The open access label was introduced to impose limitations or class inheritance in Swift. Open access label can only be applied to classes and class members such as properties and methods. An open class is accessible and subclassable outside of the defining module. An open class member is accessible and overridable outside of the defining module. A public class is accessible but not subclassable outside of the defining module. A public class member is accessible but not overridable outside of the defining module. Keeping solved, both public and open comes to play only between modules. Internal access mode will give public access throughout the same module. Example, if you are creating a framework for Facebook login in Swift, the developer will import the framework you created and try to call the login function. If you want the developer to call this method, it should be declared as public inside the framework. If you want to developer to call the function and override the login function, it should be declared as open. Simple. What is the default access label in Swift? It is internal. If we don't mention an access label before any variable, constant or function, it is internal by default, which is already explained before. So friends, if you like this video, then please like, share and recommend it so others can find it. Also, please comment below for any other information that you would like to see in future video. So friends, thanks for watching and please like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon for future upcoming videos. Thank you.